And we should be live. Let me pull up the screen so I can see everything. Yes, and we are live. So, hello everyone, and we should be live. And welcome back to Webnessify channel. Today's on the live stream show. I have really great guests from Captcha.eu, Mr. Helmut, where we will talk about GDPR compliance in Captchas. The reason why I choose Captcha.eu or this topic is that many of us are used to free captchas. But the main problem with free captchas is that they are not GDPR compliant and we are paying the price with our own data, which we don't want to uh, do for this GDPR reason. For US based customers, I think that's not very valid topic, but still it can benefit for the privacy and those kind of things. So I think now it's time to introduce Helmut, and yeah, so let's welcome Helmut.
Hello, nice to have me. Thanks for having me. Yeah, my name is Helmut Januschka. I'm the CEO and CTO of Captcha.eu, which is like a GDPR compliant capture product, mainly as an alternative to a few American big ones, not to blame any names. And we,
Nice
our
to have.
mother, thanks for having me. Yeah, my name is Helmut Januschka. I can hear myself.
Oh, okay, should be fine now. Yeah, I
Okay.
got some audio issues, so
Sorry. Yeah, actually, our mother company is Austria's biggest news publisher, and as the biggest one, we always are in the spotlight of all the GDPR lawyers. And our GDPR officer decided to uh, redline the Google products, and we needed to remove the recapture. And immediately after removing it, we saw that we had a big problem with spam and bots, and all the available solutions at that moment, which was like 2 years ago, were not like in our scale or in our design or in what we needed or what we are looking for. So we quickly came up with a. At first, it was a hacky bit solution, and it worked so good that we put in a bit more effort and more effort, and then we were so excited about it that it worked and rolled it out in the whole corporate group. And yeah, a year later, we decided to make it market fit, like make a real product out of it, so that others can benefit from this too. So we decided to create the company. Um, the funny thing is, the product was ready really good, and then we had 6 months of paperwork and things you need to do to create the company. Eh, yeah, and last year in April we launched, and since then we're doing good. We're having great customers already. A lot of agencies are looking into our solutions to use it for their customers because GDPR, as Simon said, is a big topic. And for example, the US customers, maybe it's not a topic in their country right now, although we see a movement there that it's also a bit more about privacy. But for example, if you are an American website and you have European customers, strictly to the rules, you need to apply to GDPR. And this is what some customers don't even know. And as in the introduction, um, the free products are not really free. So they are taking your data and doing stuff with this data. So they might be free for you, but your users are paying with their private data. And yeah, so we came up with a solution. And since we are using WordPress internally in one of our main core products for the news website, we decided to launch with the WordPress plugin. And from there on, we we basically did it like a startup. If there was a customer on a platform that we did not have, we just tried to build a plugin for it. And so we reached right now a huge list of platforms for all the major CMSs from WordPress, Typo 3, Neo CMS, Craft CMS, things that I have never heard of before, that they have a big community and stuff like that. It's really amazing. Um, for sure, we also have like the the bare bone integration. So you get a tiny piece of JavaScript and then you roll it on your own framework. And yeah, we pretty much run an agile principle. So if there is a customer who has a problem, we support them because at this stage of the company, it's every customer is equally important.
Yeah, indeed, and that's really important. So, thank you very much for this introduction, Helmut. It's really pleasure to have you over here, and we can talk today about this GDPR compliance for captchas. This topic that I don't see often that anyone is talking about. Right? It is something that we need to make a change, right? Because everyone is used to free captchas. So I think it's gonna be nice. So to begin with, what is it the general understanding for like this overall GDPR compliance?
So overall in the GDPR, you're not supposed to collect data that you do not uh, really technically need. So the age of collecting is actually over, and the thing is, everything you store is not allowed to be personally identified back. There's like a bypass where you can ask for consent, which works for most of the dark things that we still see in the internet.
Yeah.
But for us as a capture, if we ask the bot if he wants to enable the bot protection or he wants to opt out, it renders the product useless because what bot would press yes, please protect? So we are kind of like in this tiny little area where it is a technical requirement. And for those products, the rules are pretty tough in terms of what you are allowed to store, how long you are allowed to store.
Yeah.
And because many of the other ad frameworks and stuff like that, they just say, okay, we and our 789 partners, please press allow all. But that does not apply to captures. And yeah, what we also see is for us, it's a strong selling point that we are Austrian and European based. And this not only goes from the development or product design and stuff like that, this goes down to the data center. So we are not hosting at any of the hyperscalers. We have our own two data centers located in Vienna that we run for the publisher anyway. So we run the capture there, and this is something that many customers really like because um, AWS Frankfurt is actually at the end of the day still AWS. There might be no legal cases as of today, but in some point in the future there might be troubles with using hyperscalers depending on what data you collect.
Yeah, indeed, I totally agree. And running own data center is also very good in terms of cost reduction because you want to be as open to everyone to use Captcha.eu because if it was very expensive, nobody would probably buy it or see the benefits. So yeah, this is one of the great benefit also that you have your own data centers.
Absolutely. And we as a publisher, we want to be the best in the field, like compared to other publishers. We always have the strive to be the best one and be the cleanest one because most of the lawyers, if they are looking for cases, they go to us because they get the most publicity. Um, yeah, and for Captcha, for example, one of the biggest customers are is the publisher because we're eating our own dog food in that case, which is where we get a lot of data for training and stuff.
Yeah.
And we like to contribute to a world where you just enable the caption. You don't have to care about consent or GDPR or anything like that. All our plugins, they try to be as easy as possible. Install it, add your key, and you should be done.
Yeah, I understand. And like, what kind of integration Captcha.eu have for WordPress? Do you have also integration with WS Forms, Fluent Forms, and those kind of popular form plugins?
Yeah, we basically, first of all, if you install our plugin in any platform, we always try to support their third-party form plugins. So, for example, in WordPress, we protect the login, sign up, password reset, comments, and all the native WordPress things.
Yeah.
But we also support I think like all of the major uh, form plugins like WP forms, Gravity forms, Ninja forms, Contact forms. I think it's around 10 that we support out of the box. And as I said in the introduction, if there is a form plugin that we are not supporting right now, it's in our interest to update the plugin. So, for example, DV forms, we didn't know that this exists, and we had one customer who requires it, so we built it for this one specific customer, but found out later that there is more customers. So
Yeah, yeah, of course. All
and
right.
this is what we see in the WordPress community. There's a strong demand for making it easy to enable. So not need to add some hooks or functions or whatever. Just like go in your dashboard, click a check mark, and you're done.
Yeah. And also as clean as possible because many plugins are bloated with stuff, upsell, and unnecessary thing, right? And this can
Absolutely. So
cause like
we do not ask you to install 7 other plugins. So for
yeah, I understand. All right. So, what are the limitations of free captcha services that many of us still using, even if it's Clapper, Turnstile, H captcha, Google captcha? What are those limitations of those free captchas?
I think one of the GDPRs, obviously the biggest one, many of them require custom effort in the integration. Most of them like mess with your layout. Our goal was as a publisher, we don't want to nag the user. We are not showing them traffic lights or we're not letting them search for trees. Even if you use the invisible products, there is a point where sometimes people need to find traffic lights, and we really try to be not seen, which is like tough in selling. So you have to buy for a product that you don't see. Um, but at the end of the day, it works. It doesn't destroy your layout or UX, UI things.
And we have a question for you from Luis. Hello, Luis. Thank you for joining. And he is asking, "Hi, how do you integrate with native WordPress form, sign in, etc.? Is it through a plugin?" I think we already answered it, but
Yes, we ship a plugin. It's called Captcha.eu plugin, and then you enable those forms, and we hook into the official hooks. But the plugin itself is open source, so we are not doing any black magic sorcery. We try to be as clean and as low profile as possible, also for our own protection, because maintainability is a huge goal for us. And what we see in the customers in the wild, it's not easy to support the WordPress plugin because some customers have like 742 plugins installed, and one of them is unregistering a hook.
742 plugins on WordPress website. I never seen that, but
I have seen things with red bubbles where I instantly know it was not our plugin, but the combination is not easy to manage in WordPress, to be honest, as a plugin provider.
all right. Thank you very much, Luis, for this answer. Question. I hope we got it answered. And yeah, let's continue with those limitations of the free
Yeah,
captchas.
the limitations are basically that they force you to do things that you might not be so easy to do. And also, for example, many of the big ones have like limits where after a million of validations, they are not free anymore. So you pay with money and user data.
Hmm. Yeah, but
Not a lot of people reach that amount, but there is customers who reach that.
yeah, but I think those captchas, for example, just let's say scenario, your website is under DDoS and is invoking all those captcha requests. Those captchas should be automatically protected from DDoS, right? Or they leave it on purpose unprotected, so they can upsell it. What you think?
You mean the CDN providers that also have captures?
Yeah.
It's kind of like the antivirus companies. I always thought when I was little that it's easy for them to make business because they know how malware works.
Yeah, yeah. Imagine if DDoS come from their own CDN, right? But yeah, we can.
One of the major differences in Captcha.eu is we provide classical form protection, like you know from the contact form sign in and stuff like that. But we, for example, on the publisher side, we have features where we want engagement from the users, where we don't want to force them to log in. For example, who will be the chancellor this Sunday? We want many people who are taking part of it, but we don't want the party soldiers to use curl or whatever to manipulate it. So we use it for clicking a button and running it transparently. Or we have customers who have job listings, and they stop crawlers from stealing their job listings and making their own job engines.
Yeah.
So Captcha is a form protection, but it's way more. Um, for example, a product that is pretty old but no one uses these days anymore because it's not Google killed it like a few years ago. When you have email addresses or phone numbers in your imprint or in any legal text, we provide a feature that you can use a short tag or a Gutenberg block to hide this text and force the user to click on it to run the capture and only see once the capture is validated.
I see. That's really great. Also, I have a question. How do you differentiate the traffic if it's a human or if it's a bot? What's the technology behind the capture? Because I don't know if you are collecting IP addresses, but I don't think so. Am I right?
We're actually receiving the IP address in the process
Mhm.
in terms of it is a network request. Um, we are immediately removing the last two blocks, either of IP4 or IP6, and we take the bits and pieces that survived from the IP for the country detection. And the country is one of those 100 plus signals. And depending on those signals, a machine learning model makes a decision of the so-called penalty score. And depending of the penalty, your uh, your device, the client, gets a cryptographically puzzle, and the penalty decides about the complexity. So if you are a bot with a lot of penalties, you get a super complex puzzle, and most of the bots that are running in some Cloudflare, AWS, whatever, they don't have that much amount of memory, CPU, whatever. And for example, classical rate limit is also one of the signals that we count in, and so we cannot detect the bot 100%. This is something I always say, and I think it's just we need to be honest in this space. All the other providers too. But we are making our customers an unattractive target. That is the goal. It's like if you are living in a multi-home apartment, the burglars will go into the room where there is no lock.
Yeah,
They could open my door with the lock, but they will take the one that is easy.
yeah, that makes sense. And also, it's not even possible, even if you collect the full IP address, to detect if it's a real person on.
There's VPNs that you can just enable with a click, and so
Yeah,
IP address is not a, a thing anymore.
yeah,
It's one of those factors, but it's not the single deciding factors.
yeah. But viewers on my channel can deploy their own VPNs, so you can. Yeah, and this machine learning algorithm. So at the background, there is AI, basically.
No, I would not say AI because I'm proud of saying there's no AI in it. I say it's machine learning, and it's trained on data, and it's just a huge set of data that provides a good matching algorithm. It's not Voodoo, it's not ChatGPT who does anything. So we actually say ML, even though AI would be maybe upselling a bit more.
Yeah, but you know how AI come from? AI come from the machine learning, so maybe in time.
Exactly, but these days people think with AI the capture will talk to them and is their buddy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
ask.
the majority is since we started a year before market, we collected the data from our own website, and you can imagine if there is like Christmas and we're giving away 3 Audi cars, full cars for free. There's so many form submits and so many data that we had enough to train an initial model. And what we do now is we use the data that we store, which is only anonymized digits, to
Yeah.
retrain the model. But I have to put a footnote there. Customers can opt out from the training. So because we have some in the public sector or banking, they don't want their data to be used for training, even though it's fully anonymized.
Yeah. So, mm, for example, if you have some medical sector like also from US, so is Captcha.eu like HIPAA compliant for those enterprise?
I'm not really familiar with the HIPAA thing. We don't have the compliance certificate, but I think we could get it if we go for it.
Yeah, but I don't think like are you also targeting US markets with Captcha.eu?
Not really, because current moment they don't have this. Uh, it's hard to sell there because they don't have any GDPR similar law. What we try to follow is their movement there because you see a movement of getting a bit of a privacy sensitivity.
Yeah.
But once that happens, we will try to sell it there for sure. But at the moment, all of the European countries are our main market
Yeah.
because there's enough countries, enough people. I think it's a good market, and
Yeah.
it's good to have a product that is not coming from Silicon Valley because this is something that these days is not regular. That there,
And
so
there is no AI stamp on the product.
absolutely.
It's only machine learning for now.
For now, maybe we will put a sticker on it at some point.
Yeah. Yeah. That's perfect. Yeah, because I also myself I didn't know about the Captcha.eu. I was using like the Cloud Return still, which is easy to integrate. It's perfect. But yeah, then I was discovered Captcha, and yeah, I was blown away because on the market in the EU, there's not too much, I think, solutions that are price affordable for anyone. And as I mentioned, for digital agencies, it's very hard to put the cost of Captcha or pay Captcha to their end customers who are paying the care plans or they don't pay care plans, right?
Mm. Yeah, what we typically try to tell agencies is that they can sell it forward, like their customers getting GDPR compliance, and for that they charge a bit of integration fee or something like that. So I think that at this moment it's not super hard to sell. For sure, it's not a CEO product because it's not fancy. It's not like a new app or something.
Yeah.
But every company, in fact, needs it. If you have a contact form, it's better for you to have one.
Yeah. Yeah, but anyone can integrate the honeypots or those kind of things which are not very useful in nowadays with the rise of AI bots. You can just scrape the content or automate the test forms, but
Yeah, my most funny note is that AI bot solvers are finding the traffic lights in a more accurate way than real humans. So this is where we ended up with the traffic lights and the buses. Uh,
yeah. And we have another question, nice question from Luis. To clarify, if we are using solutions like HCAPTCHA on a website targeting European citizens, it can be fully GDPR compliant. Are you the only 100% compliant CAPTCHA solution for European Union?
okay, I'm going to split it into two answers. My GDPR officers have said if you change from Google to one of the other American-based ones, you're changing your pants, but the thing inside stays the same. So no, if you are at HCapture, for example, they're an US-based company, and strictly they are not 100% GDPR compliant. The thing is, many lawyers just have keyword, like they search for Google in your imprint, and then they say you're using a Google product just because they don't know HCapture at this point.
Yeah.
The second question: are we the only 100% compliant solution? True answer: no, but I think we're the best one.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. So, in a nutshell, no US-based company is 100% GDPR if it comes to the lawsuits, right?
Exactly. And the thing is, you still can use US services if you ask the user for consent. But in a Captcha product, making it optional just eliminates the thing because no bot would say, okay, yes, please turn on the Captcha production.
Yeah, exactly. That would be not very great.
So
And
for
also,
Google Analytics, for example, you can still use it if you ask the user for the permission. Then it's no deal. And you maybe have like a 10% of rate who says no, but statistically it's not a thing.
like there are now, I think, beacons for plugins. They automatically can, if you have do not track enabled, it will automatically block it. But you need to integrate it manually.
Yeah.
You need to enable IP anonymization. And
Yeah, I think they did a lot of things with GA4, so it's way better than the previous one. But yeah, like Captcha is not an optional product, and also the GDPR law says if it's a technical requirement, you are allowed to do things like logging. For logging in, you're allowed to set a cookie. So you could theoretically say to protect my forms, the Captcha is a technical requirement. But there is an appendix to the law. If there is an alternative that is not US based, it's not okay to say, okay, it's technical requirement.
yeah, thank you very much, Luis, for this great question. And let me go back. Imagine, I'm an agency, and now I need to ask my customer, "Hey, would you like to have a GDPR compliant captcha?" Right? And my my customer say, "Why? I don't need GDPR. I don't want to pay for this." It,
Yeah, honestly, he needs GDPR compliance. It's like there's no gray line. So if you have a capture, you need to be GDPR compliant. If you don't have a capture, you can turn it off. You can have a form without, but then um,
Explain
you
what is spam.
you have spam. You have some human resources who is going through the job applications or whatever, and maybe you miss a thing because people getting frustrated and deleting things. So I think if you want to have protection and compliance, there is currently no option available to go with an OS product. As long as you say, okay, I don't care about any legal things. Maybe if you're just a small company, okay, it's okay for you, but there will be a point where people will pay more for it. And there is a lot of in Austria, for example, we had a few lawyers who were sending out uh, lawsuits for using Google fonts.
Yeah, I know it. Yeah,
And it was just like $150, but
yeah,
they sent out thousands of those. And yeah,
yeah. But this is, I think, the only public case for GDPR compliance, because at the end customer is not my fault. He built a website. He should be responsible, right? You know, thinking like a end customer who got the website built, right? He should be.
oh, you mean that they blame it on the agency?
Yes, yes,
Yeah, but honestly, then the agency just the argumentation line would be we cannot ship that product without increasing the price. Or
yeah,
usually most of the agencies have some sort of handling or monthly fee anyway,
yeah. For the
and then
capture.
you just don't sell them the capture, but increase it in terms of uh,
Yeah, or you give them a waiver to sign. If it comes to legal, we are not responsible because you decline, something like that. That can also.
absolutely, and then you can take the cost of a capture to 1 hour talking to your lawyer.
Yeah,
I It's cheaper for many years. At least our lawyers are not so cheap here in Austria.
yeah, that's great. Yeah, so as I was saying, the captcha is like probably the best on the market for the GDPR European compliance. And have we got some demonstration that viewers can also see or something like that, like live in action, something like that?
I hope that I find my tab before I'm going to share.
And also, if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the chat, and Helmut will be happy to answer all
Yeah.
of your questions.
So I'm just need to. Okay. How do I share my screen?
I think that's the button in the middle with the arrow up.
Yeah. So, yes. Okay. Oh wow. Shouldn't have pressed reload. Sorry, live demos.
The Murphy law, you know.
Yeah, I will. I tested it the whole day, so I just need to restart my demo server, which is up now.
And we have
Okay.
a question. I don't know if you can answer.
Okay, now it works. Yeah, I'm going to for the answer first.
Hello, Andy. So we have a question from Andy. Sorry, come into this late. How does a honeypot capture like WP Armor stand with GDPR?
Okay. I don't know personally how WP Armor does it, but for explanation, what a honeypot is you put. It's pretty simple, even though it's pretty good, but it's simple. They are building a hidden form that a real user does not see. And usually bots of the first generation, some of the second generations too, they just spammed all the fields. So if you have an invisible field that was named email, they were writing in an email. And what the honeypot is, if you see this on the receiving side, then you know, okay, this field needs to be always empty. It needs to be a bot. And I don't know their implementation. Usually they don't send the data externally, so they stay inside your WordPress instance.
So yeah, if it's running on your own server, then yes, it's GDPR friendly, and if there's
Yes,
no data involved, so you don't need to worry
exactly.
about it, Andy.
But honestly, as I mentioned, the generations, the new generation of bots, they coming with fully fledged browsers, so they typically
Yeah,
are not doing this anymore. We
you
also have this as a signal. We also do this as one of the many signals.
yeah, you can run the headless Chrome in Docker container and visit websites, right?
Absolutely, and there's a whole community. They are building plugins called stealth modes so that they are not easy to detect.
Yeah. Then the machine learning will come to.
Yeah. So I think now you should see my demo page,
Okay.
and
Thank
uh,
you, Andy, for the question.
yeah. So we have the classical way is that you have your form here, you fill in something, and at this point I would like to mention that we are looking at the keystrokes, the timing, and all that stuff, but at no point in time we are looking at your form data. So now we are not looking what the user is typing in. We're just trying to find if it's a human or a machine, but we're not looking at into inputs. The default way is when you click on a form and you press you submit, then you see this tiny little badge down there. On my machine, it's a bit slower. And then, do you see the alert box here? No. Okay.
You see some small box. Yes, I see the box. Yes.
And then it is validated. So this is our first version that we had. And then we had customers who said, okay, but I would like to have it like traditional capture products, showing the user a bit more that he's doing a capture. So we built the widget mode. Oh, I need to reload. Which I think most of you are familiar with a thing like that. You
Yeah.
press on this. It's multi-language. Sorry, on my computer it's German. And then you are done. And you see this timer that goes down how long you have to submit. And yeah, there you go. Capture validated.
And for example, if you are using VPN, you will have to solve some puzzles, right? In this captcha.
Everyone is solving puzzles. Every computer is solving a puzzle. And depending on the signals, you get a percentage rating of the complexity of the puzzle. You can imagine this, not the human is solving the puzzle, it's the CPU and the RAM of the end user.
I see. I see. Yeah. In the browser.
but not searching for anything. It runs in the background, it forks some processes, and yeah, so to say, wastes some CPU cycles.
Yeah, but also, uh, some enterprise VPNs like from NordVPN, the North layer, they have their own dedicated servers. It's possible, for example, to whitelist those IP addresses in this captcha.
Currently, right now, in the backend, not. But if you're a customer who is suffering with this, we can do this for you. Typically, we try that our backend is uh, so simple as possible. So we don't want to give you that flexibility of settings, because what we learned is if you give them a setting, they will mess up in a wrong way, and then yeah, then they might say the product is not good because they turned the complexity into -0, -5. We have, for example, some customers who have branches in other countries like China and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and they typically coming from China and some countries is a good indicator, a good first indicator of not being good. But for them, it's important that their remote workers sitting there logging in are not running this penalty.
Yeah, definitely. That would slow them down a little bit, but yeah, it's still great. So if there are any issues between your own internal IP addresses, you still can contact the captcha.
Absolutely, absolutely. So
They can solve it in the future. All right. Is there, and also for this captcha, you said you can integrate it with plugins to any forms to comments. But is there also option, for example, for custom pages via API or JavaScript or those kind of things?
okay, I'm just jumping to the documentation. These are, do you see the list of ready-to-run plugins, which
Yeah,
you typically just install with their installer, what is available on the platforms? Some of them are Composer, WordPress is a WordPress plugin, and stuff like that. You get
yeah,
the documentation, you add your keys, and then on WordPress you get a list of uh, the form plugins that we support, and then you just enable the checkmark and you are done. If you want to integrate it natively or by hand, we provide the client and backend samples
yeah.
with the vanilla JavaScript, a React version, and in a separate sandbox, an Next.js sample. And for backend, it's basically a REST call that you have to make. So you need to send the piece from the JavaScript SDK to a REST backend,
Yeah.
and we provide snippets for all the languages.
So yeah, for developers, this is a heaven. They can integrate it with anything they want. They don't need to.
Absolutely, absolutely. So you can integrate it in almost everything. If you have a programming language that is not listed here, we're also happy to provide you some uh, samples, like the C sharp. I never did C sharp, but for one customer, we needed to provide a sample. So I just ran through a tiny little C sharp book to make this.
I was just thinking because I love running Docker containers, many Docker applications. So basically, I could also include the captcha for my Docker containers, right? With this integration.
You mean the validation endpoint?
I mean to protect, for example, my Nginx proxy manager when I need to log in to
Yeah,
set
yeah,
up.
yeah. We have this is a custom solution, but we have some customers who have something called scrape protection.
Mhm.
Like they're forcing the user to go to a website to somehow authenticate and get the hash, and with this hash, he then has API access for like 30 minutes.
Yeah, I see. All right, it's great to see that you are supporting almost any platform, custom platform. This is great for the users who want to switch to GDPR friendly captcha solution.
Absolutely, and it's always in our interest. So we are happy to invest time and people resources into building new platforms because it's a multiplier for us.
Yeah.
Like for PHP, we also have like Laravel direct integration.
All right. Thank you for this presentation. Is there anything else you would like to share about this? Something?
Good question. Yeah, I would like to show the mail protect.
All right.
Like I mentioned that you can also go a bit further, like protecting not only forms, but we have the email obfuscation. And yeah, there's a long blog post. There might be AI integrated. And you see this here. I entered an email address, and the WordPress plugin removed the email address from the direct response of the website. And to see this email, I need to click on it, and then it runs a captcha. And after some time, it reveals the real email address. Why is this important? For example, if you have an imprint where you are legally required to add a phone number or any email address that you don't want to receive robot calls afterwards.
Yeah. Because Cloudflare have also this for free email obfuscation and those kind of things, and this is also great. So you can obfuscate also emails and phone numbers. And
It's actually in WordPress. It's a shortcode that you can wrap around everything, and it's also a Gutenberg global block setting. So if you have a Gutenberg block with a gallery, and you enable the captcha gate, it's called captcha gate, then it will transform this block into a captcha logo where you have to click to reveal uh, the image or the gallery or the block.
that's really great. Yes.
For example, we have some customers who don't want their video material to be scraped and downloaded,
Yeah.
so they put the video behind the captcha wall.
That could save from potential traffic spikes from the video. That's yeah. So you
Exactly, because
so
then you have to pay traffic.
so we can wrap anything into the captcha wall, right? In the WordPress.
In WordPress, it's out of the box. So if you enable the plugin, there is, I just need to go into my backend. I can quickly show it.
Okay. And in the meantime, if you have any questions, anyone watching, feel free to ask, and Helmut can answer your questions.
So this is our settings page where I
Yeah.
hopefully not leak my keys. Sorry.
I think you
um,
should hear all the things.
above, I'm going to rotate the keys afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah, here you can enable the form protection for the native forms. For the native forms, we also offer the out of the box the feature to use the visible widget that I showed you before.
Yeah.
We support WooCommerce, Elementor, Ninja Forms, Contact Forms, WP Forms, Mailchimp, and Divi. And then there is this tab called Content Protection, where you can say, okay, automatically remove emails in post content, in RSS feeds, in user comments, and block-based protection. You can also enable the shortcode. And if you then go to adding a new post, which hopefully works. Yeah. If you add a block here, you have this global thing, and then you can say protect block, and then you can add text that is shown instead of the block, and then the user needs to click on it.
I see. I see.
Not many customers are using it, but I think it's one of the a good upselling product from away from the classical form protection.
Yeah. And if there is no form that is supported natively by this plugin, is possible to protect the form manually? Because I see WS forms are not supported yet.
Yeah, I
It's
talked to the owner of the company. He's currently building a native integration.
Mark. We spoke with
Yeah,
Mark.
I met him at the WordCamp Europe, and he is currently working on it. I need to contact him. But yes, usually it's quite easy. So you can take a look at the existing integrations and go from there. Or if you just contact us, we also happily integrate it on our own.
Yeah.
But
Eh,
right now we had no customer who demanded it, so it's not there.
yeah. But yeah, it will, of course, in the future.
But I looked at his plugin and it looks great, and I would love if he does it or if they do it and they maintain it because it's easier for us.
Yeah. And we have a question from, let me show it, from Mansell Web Design. Hello, on your website, there are option agree and close and add another option disagree and close. I see that sometimes on site, but I still don't understand what happens when a visitor clicks disagree.
Okay, so on our page, we also have a tool that's called Content Manager because we have integrated the Google ad tracking so that we know if the traffic that comes from Google is a conversion of one of the paid campaigns that we are paying to rank a bit better inside Google. And if you press on disagree, we basically don't execute those JavaScripts. That is kind of the thing how it works in the European Union these days.
Yeah, yeah. But many websites have like you click disagree and they still load even before you are shown anything. So
No, no, we are not doing it because, especially with this company, we are in the spotlight of of not loading anything without we are being allowed.
yeah. And also I have question, for example, like Luis was asking about the age captcha, right? And I was reading their, GDPR privacy, and they are claiming they are GDPR compliant.
I haven't read their whole terms and services conditions and all their legal documents, but as long as they have a headquarter in the US, there is always an executive order that can any other branch force to give the data overseas. I mean, even if you create a company in Europe, I bet that, for example, Amazon is trying this. I bet Jeff Bezos can call in there and say, "Give me the data." I'm pretty sure that this works.
Well, we will never know for sure, but yeah, US and data, that's another whole nightmare. 'Cause that's
We had a terroristic attack or a terroristic danger in Austria, and we were not able to find the guy, but the CIA just reported him, even though he used Austrian mobile phones and stuff like that. So
yeah, but if there is American company, T-Mobile or something, but yeah, this is really, really, even in European companies, we can never be sure the data is 100% safe.
absolutely. And I think, as much as I hate the GDPR movement, because I think it destroyed a bit of the web with this agree and everything is clicking yes anyway. But I think one of the main benefits is that you, as a business owner, you need to make sure that you don't have data that you don't need. And I was born and raised many years ago in the internet where we always said, like, we don't know what we do with the data. Just let us collect it. We will find out later. And this lead to big data piles. And then there is a leak. Everything you have, you can lose. This is one of our philosophies. We don't want to have your social security number because once we have it, we might lose it.
Yeah. And why would you need even for machine learning?
No.
Yeah. But also, what I saw recently, there were some websites, I think from UK, I'm not which one, but if you don't agree for those cookies, you will need to pay €2 or £2.
Yeah, we have that too. On the publisher website we have that too because it's the only way you can survive with financing a free product.
I understand it, but man, I don't know how we get there. How did we ended up paying with our own data? When did it all start?
I don't know. I don't know. I think we ended in a. I think computers were a mistake. It's my main claim at first. When the web started, it was open. Everyone did everything on their own. You just took your computer, you installed this piece of web server, and you were in the internet. And I think we abstracted so far away at some point, I think we lost the main goal of the internet, having information available for free for everyone.
Yeah,
And yeah, but at the other end, the internet just is a product now that's just generally available. It's not like 100 geeks building the free open internet. It's just like companies trying to make money.
exactly. And especially companies who got monopoly, like Google.
And we as a European Union, we are pretty weak because how much innovation and technical dominance comes out of Europe? It's almost nothing.
Yeah,
But our people living in the European country, they are all consuming it, so they are sending the data to Facebook and co.
but we have a great European products like GDPR friendly analytics, Matomo or Plow.
Absolutely, absolutely, but they are not getting the spotlight. There is for everything
Yes.
US based. There is a great good alternative. There's a great website called European Alternatives. They have a dictionary of you search for example, Captcha, and then you see all the the European based ones.
Yeah, because I'm a big advocate for open source software and how anyone can run the software like Metomo Analytics, Plausible. I have countless tutorials on my channel, and I try to spread the word that you don't need to use Google. You don't need to
Absolutely.
use Microsoft. You can spin up Nextcloud. You can have Mautic for marketing automations, right? And all those kind of things. So
Yeah, even though I'm selling a product for a living, I'm also advocating into um, we should not unlearn things that it's possible to run it with a small team. Even though, as a Captcha, for example, for bigger companies, it's easier just to pay and be good at some point. But for sure, you can build this on your own if
yeah,
you put in enough time and effort.
you can have self-host LLMs, right? And you can customize it to do a challenge for any form. You can do it yourself. It's easy, but yeah, eh, I think everyone is taking on the internet for free as granted because you don't need to pay anything. You just pay with your data, and you're gonna have ads. Who cares?
Absolutely. And
Who cares? Many people don't even care about the advertisement and ads.
I don't have numbers, but I think, yeah, most people just press on accept and be good.
Yeah, like I'm running my own Pi hole with DNS, and I'm blocking almost anything.
On the Wi Fi level.
Yes, yes, on the router level, and yeah, some websites even don't work.
Really?
Yeah, some websites
Yeah,
even
I think
you need to
you,
just disable those DNS ad blocking, right? Because of they got some nice filters and those kind of things. But I'm paying for YouTube Premium because I found one.
I wanted to say it. I wanted to out myself as a paying customer for YouTube because YouTube without premium is just a pain.
Well,
And
not me, but I like to support the creators, right? I
yeah,
don't
but
like.
they also get a cut from the ads. So,
Yeah, yeah.
but
But
for example, as a family, it's cheaper for me to pay for the YouTube subscription than to pay for the toys that my kids want to have that they have seen in the ads.
yeah, yeah, that's true. Yeah, yeah.
But I think same happened to music. Like not long ago, it was not normal to pay for music. When the internet started, everything was free, including music. And these days, it's so convenient and simple to just have Spotify, YouTube Music, whatever, that I don't even waste time finding music somewhere for free.
You can do Spotify free, but when you listen song in the middle, you get the ads, right?
Yeah, Spotify is one of them. I just accept the ads and take it as a radio.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's yeah, but we should not take some things for granted, and we should like support like not yes, we should support things that we like to use, right? Something like that, because
Yeah.
then everyone will just put analytics, put targeted advertisement, and yeah,
Yeah, but honestly, sometimes I like it, targeted advertising. When I'm searching for furniture, it's great at some point. So
yeah, but yeah, but it makes like the whole GDPR system obsolete, I think. because Google will never be GDPR compliant. Never.
No, no,
Microsoft.
no, no. They will. The big ones never will be.
Yeah.
As long as there is no US-based thing like the GDPR compliance. If there is something in America, then maybe.
Yeah. I don't know what the European Union have against America, but yeah, we just have to live with it and try to be compliant. So that's
How's the saying? Like, US innovates, China replicates, and European regulates.
yeah, that's really, really regulates. Yes, that's great analogy. Yeah, that's yeah. So that's why I try to spread the word also about the Captcha.eu. So
Yeah,
we have a lot of alternatives, right? And also I will.
not only for captures, for everything you want, there is an alternative. There is some startup or even middle-sized SMBs who have great products. Or Matomo, for example. Everyone can run this from his notebook.
Yeah, even from Pi-hole, right? They can, but then they can use Cloudflare Zero Trust Network, to proxy it on the public network. Yeah,
But there were services back in the days that provided I don't didn't DNS or something like that.
I think you can use now. NetBird is also a
Yeah,
nice German company with overlay VPN. Also got tutorials and live stream coming soon, probably with Misha. But yeah, there are options also GDPR options for those kind
yeah,
of things. So yeah, thank you very much, Helmut, for your time. It was quite a good conversation. And to wrap things up, uh, is there anything, for example, for my viewers or the general audience, how they can get started with the
yeah. So first of all, yeah, we're a paid product, but you can sign up and you get a few credits directly after the sign up without any contract. And especially for Simon here, we came up with a voucher code that I think you can share in the YouTube description and wherever there is text input, and you get 50% off on your first billing cycle. So if you go for a monthly subscription, you get 50% off in the first month. If you do this for a yearly plan, you get 50% off of the yearly plan, which is, I think, a great deal. And I'm happy to see you in the support email if you have platforms that we have never heard of.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you very much. It's very generous to offer 50% discount. Thank you. And yeah, I will leave it anywhere where I can. And yeah, thank you very much, Helmut, and thank you everyone who joined this GDPR session. And yeah, would love to see you back on another great, amazing live stream on
Yeah.
Website channel.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for the questions. And yeah, have a good day.
Okay, you too, Helmut. Bye bye.
Bye.
All right, guys. So there you have it. It was really nice, enjoyable, and entertaining conversation about the captcha and why we cannot we can use the free captchas, but why we should not if we are running European-based business, and also if you are offering your services in Europe, for example, the website creation and those kind of things. So yeah, I leave the links and the discount code for the 50% off for the service. And yeah, thank you very much, everyone, for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.